Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm here with another DZBT demo file. I'll be covering the updated Zorga demo file. I did update that version and then I found out that a QA actually out that related to something that I talked in the video, which is not valid. So I've redone it right now, but most of the content will be the same, but because I've put that in private already, so you won't be able to see that unless you already seen it before. But before we actually get into the next set, which is DZBT11, we have a new attack extender. So we're doing a normal for attacks now, and we will be get our 5th attack with the divine skill, which is a very big move, which for me I've been waiting it for a very long time, and very interesting that it is not a EB3 draw 1 and a CV1 after Vanguard attacks to withstand, but the effect it given to us is definitely something that we needed. It's definitely something that is helpful in my point of view, so I'm looking forward to that, and I will be covering the updated version as well. As you know, every Zorga updates I will always make a deck profile for, and this is the one that before DZBT11 come out. So if you are playing English, you will be able to try out my build before you actually get your DZBT11, right? Now for the right line, I'm using the newer Zorga right line. I'm not using the Ranger chain because I do want to have more chances to take for not only orders, also for units. I don't want to have a pressure to drop 2 cards from my hand if I really miss all the mulligans and stuff for finding an order, right? So I'm using that, and I think most people will go for this grade 2 because when your Divine Zorga right, you will get to pick up an order, which is a better timing compared to the Husk Dragon, which on right you already need to pick something up, which you might not actually want to pick them up yet. So that's the difference. Now, going into the main deck, first I am running 3 other Prison Rights, even though in a match that I recorded in Singapore, I never get the Prison Right even I have 3 extra copies in my main deck, but I still think the soul for Prison Right is important. The power gain is also important. So so far I'm not cutting it. Even if I want to cut, I will probably just only cut 1 at max, and that's all. And then for our crit gainer package, or the Prison Dragons at the Commerce, I'm running 2 each. I was running 1 and 3 for a more aggressive play, but then with the different play tests, I think the 2k the grade 2 5k defense is still actually helping me a little bit more, but I don't want to completely lose my aggressive option, so I am using both still. With the new attack extender coming out, probably will still be kind of the same ratio, no matter I eat them or not. The extender is actually the 5k shield for me, so and even that I won't be like recklessly activating that skill, so the main thing will still be these 2, and I still want a little bit of defense to get me staying a little bit longer. So I think Karma and Prison Dragon is up to you what kind of ratio you want to, but a total of 4 to 5 will be helpful for you to deal with most of the thinking problems, right? And then of course, 4 of the Shadow Cloak, we still don't have anything that we can replace it yet. I do hope a better version of the Shadow Cloak can come out, because it's basically like 20 something sets already, right? We have at least 12 to 13 main of the D booster, and then DC we are 11, so we have passed through the 20, and this is set 2, right? And we are still using a 4 max in a Zorga deck, so this is how good it is for you to regret your PG, regret your OT for defensive, for dropping any sort of orders that you want to pick it up or use it for Alpha Magic. So it's just that good until we have something better. Unfortunately, it will be a 4-off and not being cut through the deck. And then next, one of the Ace unit. Now Ace unit is something that I am still kind of thinking, should I want to always put in the deck? The Asian herself is very strong, that is true, but the problem is you are using quite a bit of energy blast sometimes, especially when you are using on your counter turn. It drains up a lot of your energy blast. So do you have the spare energy to actually use this card is sometimes questionable, but then when you actually have the energy blast and the time is right, she is doing a lot for you, creating a drop, bringing something back, basically help you filter your deck. So and she is a good beater as well. So far I would say it's okay to keep. Is it a must in the deck? Maybe not. It's not to a level of must, but it's a very good to have. So if you really like every other single card you can't cut, you can still consider to cut her, but for now I don't suggest, because she is still powerful even though she is not easy to use. But once she is effective, she is actually helping you a lot. And then 2 of the harvesting elves. Now I tried it 4 and then I just draw them back to back. So I immediately cut it to 2, which still doing a good job. Basically eating your prison dragons to draw. Early gives you plant tokens so that you can start bashing your opponents early. Just that simple. The draw is just very helpful. Even just 1 on the field is going to help you out a lot. Increasing your surviving rate, drawing the cards you need. So she is a generic support, but a very good generic support for this deck. 1 Headhunter for the minus counterblast cost, and it will be more important in the future when the attack extender come out, because it also costs you a counterblast. So if you are cutting costs on your orders with the counterblast, it can be used there. So it's definitely still a very good card to consider. Yeah. Caesars is something that I will probably cut when I have the extender, because for now I just want a backup options for me to pick up orders from the drop zone that I need to use, in case I really don't have a choice, that I might just see 2 orders a whole game, and I bind one need to drop and I never get to see another one. It happens. Then what can I do? At least I have a Caesars to pop to my Rigas to grab them out and play it, and then don't bind it, so that even though my board doesn't have the plus 5k, I still have a chance to wait for the next time, right? Or use other ways to pick up the Caesars, and then pop 2 of Arigas and pick that order up again and use it again. Like, it's like the worst of the worst situation. This is a card that actually saving your life, for me at least. So having the Caesars in the deck is good, but because in the future, with the attack extender is out, we actually get to pick up orders back using that card. So instead of this, I will go for that one. So that's 1 space already empty for the new extender. But for now, before we have the extender, to me, having a backup plan to pick up orders is really important, because when you have a bad luck, you just need to find something to face that bad luck. And then 1 Philander to find out all the sort of pieces that you need, and once you get enough cards in the drop, it will plus 10k, so it is also helping you to push, giving you a better push to your opponent, that they need to drop more cards to guard, drop the PG that they don't get to recycle like we do. So that's basically how it is going to save me. And I have been liking Philander since I'm going for a more sort of 2-boxing kind of build, so it's still there. And then 4 unit PGs, just because I can pick it up back up. I do see some people using the Pistola PG, but then unless you're facing an era that a lot of decks are doing triple drive, I don't see quite a meaning on that one, to me, just to me. Some people do prefer that, so it's more of a personal preference, but recycle wise, I think unit PG is still always the best. Now getting into orders, First, I'm running Angel Ladder for the protections. Even though Vasagra is gone, and especially Vasagra is gone, Angel Ladder is your greatest protection against all sorts of targeting, including Valkyrie's Bind. So they need 4 turns to clear out all your attack extenders unless they play the grade 2 from the starter. And you probably don't always have 2 of them on the field anyway, so they probably will just only be able to bind 1 per turn. And using the Angel Ladder gives you an extra turn because it protects them for 1 turn, and they need to wait for it another turn, right? So this gives you enough time to fight with your opponent with the resources you have and see how far you can go, right? 1 more turn can be a lot of things, and it gives you a draw, gives you a soul, gives you 5k to your Vanguard, make your Zorga to 18k, which is not easy to simply block with a 15k shield, which just do the job perfectly. And I did mention Vasagra in the past. Angel Ladder is the way that gives your opponents to draw a card with Vasagra Soul plus 2 skill. But now, with Vasagra use rate is basically decreasing, then you don't need to worry about that part. You just need to focus on fighting against Valkyria, right? And that will do a very good protection at least for a turn, right? And we do have Sarah's coming out, so I think the need of Angel Ladder is actually getting more important, unless you see another powerful regular speeds. Else, I think I would prefer Angel Ladder more than the Caliburn, even though it draws me cards. But if my main stuff are all bind, I still can't do anything, so I'd rather have a chance. And also, of course, you have the Harvesting Elves to help you pop your units before they can be targeted. But if you use the Angel Ladder, at least you can use the Karma to block for intercepts, right? So it's still good. And then 2 of the Miasma, basically to drag your PG back for bouncing by Shadow Cloak, and then plus 5k to the front row, making your Zorga 18k again, which is a very good order still. Nothing much to say about that for now, but I might cut this to 1. Still thinking, depending on what we get from the new set and how much change I want to make, that I might do a little bit of adjustment on that. And then the E-Rendering Souls, whenever I want to do more than 2 drives, I can go for it, scare my opponent, especially when I kind of look at the top deck, they will be scared. So still a very good card to use, even though it costs you another order, but when you have a lot of orders in hand, then you can consider doing that. If you don't have a lot of orders, then you need to be very careful, because once you run out of order, you might not be able to see another one very soon, so do be careful about that. And then 2 of the deck restraints for recycling units, recycling orders. It's free, you just drop the top card of your deck. Basically anything can be useful, even the trigger can be useful, and it's free, so I'm still running 2. But if I see something better, I might change it to 1, but for now I will keep it as 2. And then the Nectar. Now Nectar is another free order for you to simply use even when you can't fully apply the effects, but when you need something to help you cut the costs, this is another card that you can go for. And when you have like a Shadow Cloak in front, or any sort of other non-game crit beaters reborn by Zorga skill, or even when you can't use that skill, you can still pump those units with your Nectar, and if you get like 15 drops, then you can get +1 crit on that unit as a 2 crit unit, same as your plus crit beater. So it's definitely great. And even if you don't apply the crit to the front row, you select a back row unit, it's still a very big buff. So for now, especially when we are getting a standard extender, hitting your opponents hard enough is really important already when you have 3 attacks only, but now when you have 4, it is more important because you are draining your opponent's hand even harder. right? So at the moment I still see this card important here, and it just basically turns you a unit into a 2 crit unit, which can be anything, even just in normal trigger, right? Can still get plus 15k to a 20k, plus personalized 30k. If you pull it out by Zorga skill plus more, it's still something that your opponents need to block. So making that happen, making this card very valuable, at least to me. And then we still have that for you to search the units you need, and it's a free play order, so still great. And then Sweet Dreams, because I like to look at the top cards of my deck, especially combining the rendering souls. It is something that I can just simply use early game to bring up my Prison Dragon while I check my top deck. So it's something that can be scary for early aggression, but you do need to be careful, because when we have the extender, counterblast cost will be heavy, and that's why you need the Headhunter to actually help you cut the cost afterwards. And then also the Unnatural Death for picking up your orders basically will be your Fine Drinks and your Shadow Dream Blade. If you run any of these, you will at least need this, right? Personally, I still love the early 20k protections and the chance that you can actually use both at the same turn. So I'm still going for that. Some people are still only going for this, like 2 to 3 copies, but for me, I think this is still a better setup for me. So of course, it requires you to have a better energy management, especially when you have the H unit, you have your Karma, you have your Zorga, you have this. They all drain your energy very, very fast. So if you don't check your energy carefully, and you don't have 2 energy to use this, it will be a dead card unless you drop it for a PG, right? So do be careful about that. And then ending my order with the Bloom order. This is the one that I did say in the very early of a video that I got a QA about this. Now it only can buff the units that is already on the board, basically, because it's not a permanent skill, so it cannot buff a After Reborn Prison Dragon an extra 10k, but it can buff what is already on. If you have a Prison Dragon already on the field, then you can pump it 10k. Your Harvesting Elf, your plant tokens that already on the field, you can buff that 10k, right? And also can give them the skill to be bounced back to hand if you want to. So worst of the worst, you don't have your Angel Letter, and you know your opponent is playing Valkyra, and you don't have Harvesting Elves to pop your Prison Dragon. You can still kind of trying to make this attack to hit and bounce the Prison Dragon back to your hand, and then drop it for using PG, or the next turn just normal call it and then call over it to do whatever you need, right? You can still get that to happen, but do remember it cannot apply the 10k to the Prison Dragons that use the skill to report after you Alchemy Magic, because it only checks on the cards that are ready on the field first, give the power, and then Prison Dragons come out without that. So do be careful about that, and then you should be fine. Triggers. Strike OT, I still like it. Some people are using the Fire OT now. They think it's better for them, which I think is okay as well, but personally I think Strike OT will save me a lot more than the Fire OT. So again, more of a personal choice, both will work. Showing crit, you need a 4-off, unfortunately, because we use a lot of souls for Shadow Cup to bounce, for our device skill to proc. Yeah, so you need to use that, and also our Blitz order, so you do need to have 4, unfortunately. That's something that unfortunately you cannot just cut. And then 3 more normal crits, because I'm running 4 fronts, which are 2 of the 20k fronts and 2 of the sewing fronts. I tried to 4 or 3 on one of them, and I just can't satisfy. I do want to try to get shield, I do want to have more souls. I can't choose, I'm running both. It's doing me okay that way, because the 20k shield actually can be handy, especially when your opponents are healing you for like 28. Just simple 15k is not enough, and if you don't have the angel ladder when you're facing like a Valkyria, they will bind your stuff and it's just annoying, right? So, and even if they are hitting you for 33, you still need to give them 15 and 10, which is basically not quite valid in this deck. We do use the Restander heal here, but then you rather use that for actually restand for it to be a 25k shield, right? So unless you don't have a choice, you rather to do a 20 plus 5 block on a 33k attack. So I think the 20k front is still going to help you a lot more, but the soul charge is also important. So for me, that I can choose, I'm running both. Just make sure it's there. And then for heals, I'm running one of the Restander heals and then 3 normal heals to basically conclude this deck list. Yeah. So so far, this list is doing what I want it to be, even though when I really have a very bad luck. Like even if I can't personalize at all, I can still push my opponent to an edge that they almost lose. But if I have the personalize, it definitely will be better because I have more souls, I have more power to go for. And then turning the Harvest Elves into 2 is definitely helping. Adjusting the Karma and the Prison Dragon is also helping. Adjusting the orders is also a little bit helping. And then just wait for the attack extender, then the deck will be even stronger. I do hope to see more other normal orders, more units that support Zorga in the future. We didn't need that, making the deck a lot stronger. Not sure if a new Vanguard is something that we are looking for, because the current Zorga is not bad, for sure, not bad. Of course it can be better when you see like every Dragon Empire deck is doing like 3, 4, 5 attacks and doing a lot of things, right? So but Zorga is the most toolboxing deck that you can find, I think, because you can use a lot of different orders, even though quite a few of them we probably will think it is fakes, but it still gives you some room to change into what kind of little things that you want to use. For example, I use a few great ones as a toolboxing. I use different orders as a toolboxing. Zorga gives you that. So give it a try, see what you think, and just looking forward to the new extender. Yeah, so I think that's it for this deck profile. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Subscribe for more deck profiles, deck fights, unboxing videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.